And I want to take a little time before I get on the topic, just free myself. You know what I mean? With my time, I'm still and I've been kind of slacking on my meetings and getting in my head, and like he just shared. I mean, sponsorship is a two-way street, and I can't thank him enough for some of the insight he's given me on this journey. Um, and I thank you, Mike, because I don't think you know how much of a value you are to my life. Um, uh, this disease is very cunning, very baffling, and very insidious. I was just out on a little trip. My family's not in recovery. They're all getting it in. We're in Atlantic City, stuck in a hotel room with my family, and these are clinical professionals that are now drunk off their ass, not behaving, and you better believe I wanted to join them. But I know better. I know I can't do one because that one is going to take me down to a road of destruction. And there's a lot of people now. I have a little bit of time in this fellowship, and they look at what I got materially and even spiritually, and all that will go down the drain with one Bud Light or whatever it is that I do. So I want to take the time to at least free myself and use that part of the meeting. With that being said, I'm grateful for this program. I'm grateful for sponsorship. I'm grateful for uh, the predecessors. I'm grateful for NA history. Um, and he asked me to share about the therapeutic value of one addict helping another. And I kind of went on tilt, and I still have issues with my ego, and I want to sound good, and I had thought of all this stuff, and like right while you guys were reading the preamble, I'm just praying, and I'm just like, take it away, God, please. And I got my moment of clarity, and the 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 topic is found in the how it works and why. And before I something that was taught to me before I share is I like to read a little bit of literature. It's just something that I'm accustomed to. So I'm just going to read a little bit of the how it works and why before I share. And these are some of the questions we have asked ourselves. Are we sure we want to stop using? Do we understand that we have no real control over drugs? Do we recognize that do we recognize that in the long run we didn't use drugs, they used us? Did jails and institutions take over the management of our lives at different times? Do we fully my contacts are getting blurry, sorry. Do we fully accept the fact that that every attempt to stop using or to control our using failed? Do we know that our addiction changed us into something we didn't want to be? Dishonest, deceitful, self-willed people at odds with ourselves and our fellow man? Do we really believe that we have as a failed as drug users? When we were using, I really should have worn my glasses. Reality became so painful that oblivion was preferable. We tried to keep other people from knowing about our pain. We isolated ourselves and lived in prisons that we built within loneliness. Through this desperation, we sought help in Narcotics Anonymous. Every time I read that literature, I identify to something, and I can say now, even now, by the grace of God, God willing, in July I'll have 6 years, and I've been lying about my story the whole time. This addiction was well before the military, and I love to blame the military. Oh, it was because of the combat trauma, and it was because of, I have always you know, I always had this sense of good and evil, and I chose to do the wrong thing. Um, and it's time that I fess up to that. And I'm not saying that there's not situations that I was dealt a bad hand, that helped me, that pushed me along the way, and there's things that have worked in my favor, and there's blessings that I have that are deserved. But that's part of my story, and that needs to be said. Now, back to the therapeutic value of one addict helping another. You guys showed me that. Sponsorship has showed me that. There's something about being honest, honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness with another human being, whether it be in this group atmosphere, which I'm just finding the courage now now, or with that one-on-one individual and getting feedback, because I can't spot self-deception, that you can't do. The doctors couldn't do it for me. Jail couldn't. Now, jail's not a big part of my story, but I've been to jail. Jail couldn't do it for me. I could only find that in Narcotics Anonymous. And the the unconditional love shown in Narcotics Anonymous was the only thing that could fill that void. Part of the things in my story are like things like divorce, war, the isolation, the degradation, molestation. Some pretty rotten things. They all made me a better person today than I ever could imagine by working through this process in Narcotics Anonymous, and that's the 12 steps, the 12 traditions, and the 12 concepts. This one's a bombshell. I was so messed up. I was deemed unemployable by all means. I may be employable again, but I'm still collecting that disability check. You know what I mean? Hate to say it, but I was that bad. It was all legit. I'm not saying I'm a fraudster now. Don't go out there saying they just been fraud. But it was that bad. I had to do it. Now, I'm looking at, if I continue to do what I'm doing, it may be fraud, but I don't know, because it's opened so many doors for me that Narcotics Anonymous has opened so many doors for me. It's opened so many doors for me that Narcotics Anonymous has opened so many doors for me. The options are astounding. Now, that's my story. I'm not saying everybody that you're going to get the keys to the kingdom. There's one promise from active addiction. But with that promise comes freedom, and with freedom freedom has a lot of responsibility too. But I want to think you choose my words wisely, because now I feel myself getting excited. But I do. I get passionate about this, because I was that guy, that self-loathing, and it comes back sometimes. I still can be that self-loathing, that I don't deserve this, that this disease. It comes. I'm not saying I got this, because when I say I got this, it comes back. It comes back. You know what I mean? It don't go away. I'm going to wrap it up. Gratitude. I'm just grateful for everyone in this room. I'm grateful for the process. I'm grateful for the predecessors, because they say it's a we thing. I do get caught up sometimes. I got to be honest about myself. Sometimes I think, I know better. Did you hear what he said? Sometimes I think, oh, I know better. Did you hear what he said? Did you? No, I don't agree. I do. I can judge. But usually, if I share about it, it'll turn itself around. I can see where they're coming from, or I've met with people that I've had disagreements with just recently. Was able to take an 11th step and just agree to disagree. And this process is beautiful. And with that, I'm going to close. Thank you for letting me share.